and welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at Art of J Velez, on Instagram at jvelez622. We're going to review some comics that I like, that I love, and some that I don't like or love. I own all the comic books that I am showing. Even though we're going to be looking at them digitally, I actually have copies of every single comic book that we are going to review. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here as we talk about my favorite subject, comic books. We're going to be looking here at Thor number 346. Now, Walter Simonson is hitting in all cylinders. He has completed two arcs by now and is now in his third arc as he is building quite the epic. In this in the original cover to 346, the background is green. For some reason on this trade, they put in like an orangish color. I don't know. I would have preferred to have seen the green, but regardless, we see a very good pose of Thor attacking these hellhound type creatures here. So I've also created a playlist for the Simonson Thor. So check that out if you have missed any of my reviews of the other. I started with 337 and are now at 346. So pretty soon I will have 10 videos there, and I am hoping to go and all the way until the end of Simonson's run. Simonson, unfortunately, only drew half the run with Sal Buscema uh, doing the other half. But Simonson stayed in the covers, which I think is very important. So let's get cracking. So we're going to basically start off where we left off. So down in New York, we start out with Roger, and he's done all these things to avoid being followed. So here it says, change cabs, trains, um, and so far so good. Now, Walter Simonson did not ink this issue. It's one of the few times he had an inker, so it may have been he was running out of time. So he Terry Austin, who is one of the greatest inkers of all time, filled in for him. I believe Terry Austin also inked 342 or 341. So he was a very sought after inker. The lettering, of course, is by the amazing John Workman. So this fella here asks him for a light. He's about to give him. It says kind of warm out tonight, and he says, "Yep." Makes you wonder why they're wearing jackets, but hey, um, but he starts attacking him. He's one of Malekith's minions here, and so all these people are gonna try to get Roger here. Roger kind of fights off, and while they're distracted, he runs and gets a cab. So, in typical Walter Simonson, we're gonna move on now to Walt is if as you've seen me cover these, Walt is very he moves things along. So Thor is at the law offices of Strother and Martin, and the lawyer called him as per requested. He had given, the information to Roger, and had unearth stuff from Malekith and the Casket of Ancient Winters, and why he sent it to Roger. He hasn't been able to contact him, and he called Thor because um, it's all this stuff is related to Norse mythology. So, and he gives him a picture of Eric. Thor says it was good that you contacted him, and he'll be in touch. Of course, we all know that Eric unfortunately died the issue previously. So you can look in the playlist and see my review of 345. So off goes Thor. And in typical fashion, we're moving on to another thread. So Simonson is good at putting threads throughout his stories. Lorelei is a seductress, and she loves to make men do her every whim. And this guy here says, "Hey, we just saw Thor," and she lets everyone know that if she were to lift a finger, Thor would satisfy her every whim, but she hasn't enchanted him yet. And then this dude in the background, you see him going here. He's gonna make a phone call because the master may want to know about it. So he's working with Malekith. And then down here we see Thor heading to the police precinct that Eric had been captured. And so gotta gotta keep things moving in Walt Simonson fashion. So Roger is walking down, and you know he understands. He's trying to get or at least understand why his father was kind of the way he was, and obviously now he has to have this burden, and he thinks that will make him understand. And now Thor has arrived into the precinct. Um, they offer him some cookies, so we already know based on the previous videos that these cookies are not normal cookies, and Thor has them, and they let him know that hey, um, this is their fairy cookies, and he now belongs to Malekith and all that stuff. And Thor's like, oh no, and they tell him, uh, pretty much your typical villain thing where they reveal their plans. So Malekith has enchanted them. He now belongs to Malekith. Eric is dead. They're gonna get the casket, and of course Thor says that he's a god, not mortal, and they're made of sternate stuff. So he knocks uh, the humans out, and so he rendered them unconscious, and he's gotta go and find Malekith. So Roger is following the direction, and he's climbing this support beam, and there is like a duffel bag, and he opens it up, and there's the casket of Ancient Winters, and he puts it, it's very funny, in a Macy's bag, hoping that nobody detects it. So Walter Simonson's comics, man, they move fast. So Malekith has arrived to go get the casket, but he discovers that it is gone. So he figures it was someone from Eric's family. So he takes out this horn that that can't be heard by humans. So um, in the precinct here, Thor has dealt with the people, calls the proper authorities to take out or to take these mortals, as he calls them, that have been lost to the Dark Elf, when he hears the horn of the fairy and knows that Malekith has called the Wild Hunt. So Roger's trying to get out of Manhattan, offers the guy an extra $20 if he can get him out within 10 minutes, but the traffic is unfortunately not moving. And up in the sky, here come the hounds, and Roger sees them as they're all heading toward him. If you can see here, you can definitely see some dry brushing, kind of creating some kind of effect here. And Roger knows that this is all true, so he takes off. The guy says, "Hey, what about my fare?" But then he sees up at the sky and says, "Oh," so he starts to run. And Roger says, "Well, if they're gonna get it, they're gonna have to earn it." So he shoots the first one, but they're coming back, so he shoots and shoots. The dogs back off, but of course, um, here comes the master of hounds. And so, in typical Simonson fashion, we're moving on. So Balder here believes he's going to die soon. He is without water, without food, has already passed an oasis and can't double back. And he is ready to greet death, but this girl needs help, and there's a sand devil. And Balder picks up a stick and goes to rescue her. And of course, the figure that's been kind of following him is impressed. He thought the stories of his bravery were an exaggeration, but they were not. And we're about to move on because that's what we do here in a Walter Simonson story. So he shoots the other animal, but here comes um, the hunter. His clip is empty, so he thinks he's about to die. But here comes Thor, and this was Malekith. And Thor is saving the day. And here comes all the hounds. And Thor's not going to let that hold him back. And Roger reloads, and Thor and Roger fight together. And we do another interlude. This is building up to our next arc where we finally, from 337 on, have just dealt with one page snippets of this. And here we go. Everyone's going to go in. He's going into battle against Asgard. And of course, we get our doom with our Walt Simonson signature here. And we go back to the fight. So Thor continues fighting them, but realizes that they're not all attacking, and he slowly realizes why. And he kind of departs momentarily, grabs some stuff from the bridge and throws it at Malekith because, of course, the fairies are iron is harmful to them, which of course is a human or a mortal. Oh, what would be the word? Anyway, apparently iron only exists in mortal realms, and fairies can't survive it. So Thor realizes that they can use the iron to destroy Malekith, and he knows that too. So he decides that he was going to escape and takes the rest of the dogs with him. And so, um, at that moment in Lorelai's apartment, Malekith appears. She thought it was Thor, but it is Malekith. And at the bridge here, all the animals will disappear by morning, and they will be reclamated uh, by the realm of the fairy. And he offers to have Thor take the casket of Winters, but Thor tells him it's a mortal responsibility and it's always been the humans who have kept it safe and it belongs with him. And he comes up with an idea on how they can keep him safe for the moment. And he goes to Lorelai's apartment so that they can hide for a moment. And he takes a drink. And Roger keeps watching. And we notice that Melody is here. Malekith is created somebody else to be um, in Melody's place. So this drink that he gave him is like the golden mead. So it makes him now in love with um, with Melody and rushes to kiss her, but realizes it's not her. And from this, uh, Malekith's voice says that if you want to save her, I will need the casket of um, the ancient winters. Otherwise, she will suffer. And of course, because he's smitten with that love potion, he is going to fight. And he's gonna go and save Lorelai. So here we go. This has been Thor 346 from 1984, written and penciled by Simonson, inks by Terry Austin, and the letter, of course, by the great John Workman. Like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.